we do. NBA playoffs are here. We are ready to rock. I can barely contain myself. But before I get too carried away, today's podcast is presented by Props.cash. We 100% could not do what we do without Props.cash. So if you think you're ready to level up your prop betting game, use code PTM at sign up to get 25% off your first month. How's it going, Dave? Before we get started, I just want to wish you the happiest of birthdays, partner. How are we feeling?
Thank you, sir. I'm thrilled to be spending my birthday potting about the NBA. What a gift to get the play-in tournament to kick off on your birthday. I mean, there's no better way I want to spend my night than watching.
For sure.
Watching a couple teams that normally would have been like potentially going for the championship game, playing in a play-in round. This is gonna be a lot of fun.
Yes, sir. Are we having a sluggish connection here a bit? Does it seem?
No, I'm good.
You're good. My video feed's coming in okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, all good.
I forgot to hardwire in today, so that's what I was gonna run and do that real quick. But if you're telling me we're good,
I'll let you know if you
all
disappear. Right. All right, you ready to dive into the action? We got 2 games tonight. I heard you brought your A game for today.
Yeah, this is what it's all about. I'm ready to rock. You gotta really dig into the nitty gritty, and it's all about listening to the local team podcasts and watching some press conferences, and getting any little edge you can here. So let's do it.
Okay. Let's start with the Lakers Pelicans. So for anybody who's not familiar with the play-in format, basically 6 teams on the West, 6 teams on the East have locked into the playoffs already. So what the play-in format is doing, it's basically allowing the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th seed to compete for the final 2 spots in each conference, the 7th seed and the 8th seed. So they basically have this mini tournament. It starts off today. It'll be the 4 teams from the West competing. The 7th seed and the 8th seed compete. The winner of that advances to the playoffs and takes the 7th seed. The loser of that goes and plays actually the winner of the 9th and 10th seed game. So kind of confusing, but it's essentially just like a little mini single elimination / double elimination tournament right before the playoffs. Yep. For all intents and purposes, it's basically like game 6s and game 7s. So that's why it's really cool. It's going to be very intense.
Yes.
First game we got is the Lakers, who are the 8th seed in the West, going up against the Pelicans, the 7th seed in the West. Pelicans kind of fumbled a little bit to end the season. They had the 6th seed. Yeah. They kind of slipped into the play-in, let the Suns take that 6th seed. Pelicans are -1.5 in this game. It is at home. They are... they lost 3 out of 4 games against the Lakers that they played this season, including the in-season tournament game. And the total in this one is 224.5. So lots of history to go off of between these 2 teams. Let's start with your favorite player prop on this one.
All right, we posted this one up to the Discord yesterday, and it's a good thing we did because we got it in at 9.5. We're looking at Herb Jones here, 9.5 points. Line has crept up, I think, across the board. I don't think you can find it at 9.5 anymore anywhere today. It's up to 10.5. Still think it's a nice spot. You see, you're losing that one game that was in that in-season tournament. That was the in-season tournament. Whatever that was, the semifinal game.
Yeah,
where he didn't clear, but he only played 26 minutes in that game because it was a massive blowout. If you look at last season, they played in the play-in round as well against the Thunder. Herb, who is probably the best defender on the Pelicans, will play big minutes in an elimination postseason type game. He played 39 minutes in that game against the Thunder last season. He had 20 points. There you go in that game. So I'd expect, right, that you think we should see big minutes from Herb in this game. They're going to need him in there for his defense, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think this is a great play. I'm not sure if you mentioned, but forwards are a tremendous matchup over the last 5-6 weeks against the Lakers too. So really good matchup. The guy should be out there. I think the only thing that prevents this play from cashing is if Herb ends up getting into foul trouble. I don't see a blowout in this game, even though the Lakers just blew out the Pelicans to end the season, and they also blew them out in that in-season tournament. I kind of see this one being hopefully a tighter game. Tom's pessimistic about that.
I am.
I do think the Lakers have the edge here. But regardless, I think Herb will play 35 plus minutes in this game, barring any early foul trouble. So I love this play at 9.5. I'd still play it at 10.5. This is a really good example of why you have to be a day ahead in the playoffs. Tom and I do most of our analysis yesterday for today's games. Really, you should be spending most of your time right now looking at tomorrow's games, right? Because you will lose a point on pretty much every play that you wait till plays the day of. With that said, we're still covering a bunch of stuff here that we've already posted in the Discord, but stuff that still has value. I still think Herb Jones at 10.5 is still pretty good value to place today. So,
oh yeah, for sure. I mean, he had 18 points in that last game of the season against the Lakers. And like you said, the forward matchup's great. In fact, since March 1st, just March 1st, so we're talking about 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 27 different forwards have scored 10 plus points against the Lakers. I think it's actually 11 plus points since the Lakers, if I'm correct. Since March 1st. So phenomenal matchup here. You want to move on to the next pick?
You had me at Jake LaRavia,
20 something points. Yeah.
28 points against the Lakers. That one, that's the one that sold me. Let's keep moving. You got anything else on the Pelican side?
Just one sneaky little one. I just there's a nice trend here on Dyson Daniels rebounds, over 2.5 rebounds. I don't know if it's moved, but it was minus 112 on DK yesterday. He was out for a while. He's played 9 games since he returned from an extended injury. He's averaged 5 rebounds per game in those 9 games since he came back. So maybe we could get a little bit of a buy low spot here. The only thing you have to counterbalance is that all those games, or the majority of those games, were without Brandon Ingram. Without BI this season, he's cleared this line in 11 of 12 games. But it's not so bad with him either. In games he's played with Ingram, he's cleared in 12 of his last 18. So still a pretty good hit rate, averaging 3.1. So he's getting there. And then it's a good matchup against the Lakers. If you look at him as a combo guard, they've allowed the 5th most rebounds per minute to combo guards, 7th most rebounds per minute to point guards. So good matchup. You just got to worry about the minutes here and whatnot, but could be a sneaky little play.
Yeah, it's a good play. I mean, we were talking about this one yesterday. My advice, especially for these game 6, game 7 type environments, stick with the starters. You can get cute and try to find the 6th or 7th man, especially 7th or 8th man. His line looks super attractive compared to what you were playing it at all year, but there's a reason. McCollum's going to play 35 minutes. Ingram's going to play 35 minutes. Zion's going to play 35 minutes. Herb's going to play 35 minutes. It doesn't leave a lot of time for guys like Dyson Daniels. So it's a decent lean, but I certainly
it's more of a lean than anything. It's not a super strong play, but I like the recent trend and the big discrepancy since what he's done over the last 10 games and then where his line is. So we'll see.
The one guy on New Orleans, which I think is intriguing, is really Joval and like what they're going to do with him. I think this could be a steal of a play. I mean, his line is set at 6.5 points. If you look at what he's done against the Lakers, I mean, he's cleared this in 7 of his last 8 games. He only played, I think it was 7 minutes against the Lakers on Sunday. So this is the one where you might want to take a risk. I think maybe the Pelicans sat him intentionally on Sunday to try to like give the Lakers a different look. I'm not sure, but I would say this might be worth the risk. What do you think?
Sorry. There we go.
You watching the games already?
I had a video loaded. I was pulling out some stats on ESPN here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So Joe Val, what do you think?
So I was listening to some Pelicans podcasts, and they were complaining quite a bit about the center situation in New Orleans. They didn't like, so they were complaining that in these last couple of games of the season, like there's like what's the coach's name? Green, right? Willie Green, like started tinkering with lineups, like playing Cody Zeller and Larry Nance. Like, so there's a lot of skepticism about how they're going to handle the center minutes going into this series against the Lakers. So I'm like, well, I guess Cody Zeller only played 4 minutes in that game. Larry Nance played 31 minutes. Joe Val only 7. So, yeah, I guess it's a little bit up in the air, but yeah, probably a decent with a depressed line like that. I think it's a good shot to take on Joe Val, right? But
Larry Nance could very well end up starting this game and playing, the bulk of the minutes. So it's a risk. But if there is a guy to maybe take a swing on, maybe rather than gambling on him at 6.5 points, like maybe you just put like a quarter unit play on him to get like 10 points or something like that. So rather than just like trying to get one unit and risking a unit, maybe you risk like a quarter of a unit and try to cash like a plus 3.
I like that angle.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's probably the direction I'll go with that one.
You're getting a lot of hearts for that comment.
Good. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
So the last play on the Pelican side, again, we posted this one early yesterday. CJ McCollum, I think, is in a great spot. Point guards versus the Lakers has been a really solid matchup. I didn't personally love his 22.5 points. I think he very well could get there, given how hot he's been of late. I mean, look at that. Look at his last 10 games. But what I did notice using PropSat Cash. So what you can do on PropSat Cash, just as a little sidebar. So I was just looking at the correlation between his threes and his points. And if you look over the course of the season, I scrolled down to the points filter, which of course will be pretty low on this view. There we go, points. So I looked at his threes in games where he scored 20 plus points, right? And then I lowered this down from 3.5, which is his line, down to 3. And you see nothing but green. So I think it was 34 games this season when he scored 20 points. He's also had 3 threes. So what I did was I put those two together as a parlay. Rather than paying minus 120 or minus 115 for 22.5 points, I was able to get this at 20 points and 3 threes for minus 130. So
I love that.
Highly correlated play that allows you to buy basically 3 points, right? We're going from 22.5 down to 19.5. Just don't shoot me if he ends up with 23 and 2 threes. So that's happened before.
I mean, but you can't argue with the correlation here. Right? I love an angle like this. This is a nice way to play it. Yeah,
that was the play we went with CJ. Kind of a reduced way of playing it. I'm telling you more just so when you're doing your own analysis, try to find those angles, that correlation between threes and points for shooters like CJ. All right, let's go to the Lakers side. What do you like over there?
All right, I think this game's got LeBron written all over it, right?
Yes, sir.
I like his I like his points and assists here, 35.5 PA. He's cleared in 3 of the 4 games against New Orleans this season. The Lakers are 3-1 in those games. This is why I'm thinking that this game might not be so close. In those 3 wins, they won by an average of 26 points. It's just like this is just not a good matchup for New Orleans. LeBron gets up for these games against Zion. You know, Zion was billed as like the next LeBron, so LeBron's got this thing with Zion that he really comes out and just defending Zion, just gets up for these types of games, right? The one loss that they did have to the Pelicans, that was by 20 points. But you got to remember, in that game, there was no D'Lo. Rui got hurt in the middle of the game. LeBron was fighting an illness. They were on a back-to-back, and it was right after the in-season tournament game, the in-season tournament finals, when they were in like the biggest funk of the season, right? So I would kind of throw that one game out, the game he didn't clear in. If you look at the last game they played, the last game of the regular season, he had 17 assists, 13 of which came in the first half, and 28 points against the Pelicans in that last game of the season. Yeah, I mean,
they were talking. I remember watching the beginning of that game, and they were talking like, all right, what's the record? The announcers were saying, what's the record for the most number of assists in the first 6 minutes of a game? Because I think he had like 7 or 8 assists in the first like 6 minutes of the game. It was crazy. He was just they were scoring everything. So I hope you're wrong, because I don't want to start this off with like a blowout. But at the same point, this isn't a game 7. And there are, because the loser does get to play the winner of the Warriors Kings. And there are some people that are saying that like there might even be some incentive to lose this game so that you don't have to face the Nuggets in the first round of the playoffs. But to me, throw that conversation out, because like who wants to roll the dice of not making the playoffs at all, right?
I agree, but if there's anyone as calculated as that, it's LeBron, right? Like to think like move the chess pieces around that much. But I agree with you. The same part, it's like you're just gonna like give up a game. They stayed in New Orleans since Sunday night so that they be ready, which I do like. When you're on, we were talking about this recently on one of the podcasts about how like when you're on the road, you don't have the family distractions, you don't have that. So they played that game Sunday night. They've been in their hotels, they've been relaxing, they've been resting, they haven't been dealing with family stuff, they've been on the road. So I think that also bodes well for the Lakers here. Just a couple more things real quick. You'd expect big minutes from LeBron here when he's played 39 plus minutes. He's cleared in 7 of his last 10 games this season, averaging 38.6 PA when he plays 39 minutes. If you look at the in-season tournament quarterfinal game that they played against Phoenix, that was a competitive game. He played 40 minutes in that game. He had 42 PA. That game was decided by only 3 points. If you move up to the next game when they played New Orleans in the semifinals of the in-season tournament, he also cleared his line with 38 PA, and that was just in 23 minutes in that massive blowout. So I feel like if it's competitive, he gets there. If it's a blowout, he even has a good chance to get there, because that'll be the reason it blows out. So I love this play on LeBron.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this is the guy who, his minutes are sometimes capped to try to preserve him for this time of the year. So he's going to let loose. He's going to play. As long as this game's not a blowout, he's going to get close to 40 minutes is my guess. So I love that. I do also like how you said they're in New Orleans, with no distractions from their family, but there's like a few other distractions in New Orleans to worry about. But yes, not guys like LeBron. Exactly. All right, who else? Anybody else on the Lakers side?
All right, I got 2 more, and these are kind of like a hedge against each other. I feel like you're either going to have a good game here from D'Lo or Rui Hachimura. Let's start with D'Lo, okay? So D'Lo's point line's at 16.5, minus 115 on DK. Look at him against New Orleans. He's cleared in 6 of 7 against New Orleans. If you bring that down, you can still get it at 16.5.
Yep.
DraftKings. There you go. So 6 of 7. So he's had New Orleans number this year. If you look at the last 2 games, he had 5 and 6 made threes in those last 2 games against the Pelicans. And then the one game he didn't get there was the in-season tournament semifinal game, but he only played 22 minutes in that game. He still had 2 threes. So in the last 2 games, when he had 6 and 5, he played 38 and 40 minutes in those 2 games, right? So if he had played 30 minutes, in that in-season tournament game, he probably gets there with the threes alone. I'm just leaning points here, just because the odds you get on 2.5 threes, it was not great. So I love his point, 16.5 points. I think this is a great spot for D'Lo.
Yeah, his last 4 games in New Orleans too. 4 for 4 as well. If you take that,
there we go.
16.5. I mean, he's been playing great. He's I think Darvin Ham finally stopped screwing around and is starting the right 5 guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He's got LeBron and AD. He's got D'Lo, Reeves, and Rui, right? Those guys are all legit players. Like this concept of tinkering with Torian Prince and tinkering with Cam Reddish and like all these other guys.
Yeah.
Forget it. Like
Yeah.
those are your 5 guys. They're going to play big minutes. D'Lo's never been afraid to shoot. Even if LeBron wants the ball, D'Lo's going to still put up his shots. So
Yeah.
I think it's a great play. I think he has a big game today.
Yeah, and I think a lot of those LeBron assists that we're expecting, they go to, he drives into the paint, he kicks it out to D'Lo. I mean, you see it over and over again. That's that's a play they go to. So if his shot's falling, this is this one goes in easy. If his shot's not falling, then this is why I like the Rui Hachimura angle here, and it's kind of a hedge. I feel like it's one of these two guys will get there. His line's 13.5 points. You'll see not great success against New Orleans, but I just feel like he creates like he's got a lot of size, right? He creates a huge mismatch nightmare. Like once you've accounted for AD and you've accounted for LeBron, you still have Rui there. Like, and they don't have like a ton of size to throw him. They have like a bunch of these wings, Trey Murphy and Herb Jones, but it's a lot to handle, right? And if you look at how good he's been lately, 12 of his last 15 overall, 8 of his last 10, averaging 18.1 points per game. I just think this could also be a sneaky spot here in the in-season tour. I mean, in the playing game.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. He's a true power forward that's playing small forward, basically, right?
Yeah,
like between him and LeBron, like they're kind of interchangeable at power forward, and
I
think he's a great play. He was also popping on our board for rebounds. If you look at his rebounds over the last 6 games, 7, 5, 6, 11, 5, and 7. So I think that's another good angle, and he just had 7 against New Orleans to finish the season. So if you don't love the points, or if you want to maybe take the points down to 10 points and put it with something like 4 rebounds, that might be another way to go for Rui. Okay,
nice.
All right. Anything else in this game?
Let's go to the next game.
And you're picking the Lakers to win big, right?
I think so. Part of me wants to play out this angle of the Lakers wanting to avoid the Nuggets in the first round, and LeBron playing being a chess master here. But I just think they're too much to handle. It's one of these mismatches. I think it goes the opposite way, where the Pelicans just have the Kings number. They're 5-0, 4-0, whatever they are against the Kings this season, right? Just whatever the matchups are, that's the way they work. And it feels the exact same way with the Lakers against the Pelicans here.
Okay.
So I'm taking the Lakers in an easy one.
All right, cool. Let's go to a game that will certainly, I think, is going to be tighter. So I'll start with the gameplay on this Warriors Kings game in a second. But just to set up the game, Warriors are the 10 seed, Kings are the 9 seed. They both have a 46 and 36 record. Kings are plus 2.5 at home, so that's a real indication of how much the Kings have been sliding. They're favorites at home. Underdogs at home, getting 224.5. 224.5 is the total. These two teams played 4 times this season, 2 and 2. I think the Warriors won the first 2, the Kings won the second 2. But here's my first observation. Now, granted, the Kings are a different team. The first game they played, the Warriors won by 8. The next 3 games they played, the winner won by 1 point.
Yeah.
So these have been really, really tight games. Most of the games last year that they played were tight as well. Obviously, that game 7 where Steph put up 50 points against them in the playoffs was a blowout. But one angle that you could take is to bet a middle bet on this one, on the game. You can do something like Warriors plus 6.5 points, Kings plus 8.5 points. Put those 2 together and you get minus 115. So it's not that big of a margin, right? So that's the risky part. I usually like to play those where each team gets about 10 points, but this is about as much as you can stretch it on DraftKings to get decent odds. But I do think the Warriors win the game. But I don't think it'll be a blowout. I think this game will be close. What do you think?
I agree. I'm not. I'm much more confident in the margin of victory being small than who's going to be victorious. Exactly. I really don't know. This is right. That's why this game is so exciting. I'm so excited for this game.
Yeah. So I could see one of the 2 teams winning by 3 points. That's why Warriors plus 6.5, Kings plus 8.5. That covers every game that they played this season, and
I like that.
minus 115. So that's the first play. feel free
Very
to
nice.
play that one out if you want to break from the player props. But one other, before we dive into your props, I just want to throw out one other maybe value play.
Okay.
Top point scorer on FanDuel. So
Hmm.
Steph is plus 115 to be the top point scorer, and De'Aaron Fox is plus 120. After that, it's Clay at plus 1200 and Sabonis at like plus 1500. So this is really a bet between who's going to score more points, Steph or Fox. What do you think? Like, do you see value in riding with Steph on this one?
At plus 115, I think you do, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it feels like a value, right?
especially given that Fox has been kind of off of late. So,
Yes.
but you never know. De'Aaron Fox could put up 30 something points. But anyway, I just want to throw that one out. If you're really on
Yeah.
Steph and you're looking at his points total, that might be a different way to play it, is to play Steph as the top point scorer, and you get plus odds on that.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, let's dive into your plays. What do you like in this one? Let's start with the king side. You got anything there?
Yeah, I do. So I have two sneaky plays on the king side, just because I'm not both, like, their offense has not been great. It's really like their defense has been usually the Kings, it's all offense, right? But like lately, especially since Monk went down, like their offense has just not been the same between Sabonis and Fox. I didn't know where to go. I kind of wanted to lay off that, so I did a little bit deeper dive. Liking Keon Ellis in this spot here, over 9.5 points, is plus 100 on FanDuel. He's going to be playing big minutes guarding Steph Curry. Since March 1st, he's averaged almost 26 minutes per game since March 1st alone. He's in there for his defense, great two-way player, and he's been shooting well from three. In April alone, he's shooting 48% from three. In March, he shot 44.2% from three. So he's been hot from three, playing big minutes because he's in there for his defense. When he's played 24 plus minutes, remember, he's averaged 25.7 since March 1st. When he's played 24 plus minutes, last 7 of 8 games he's cleared this line in, averaging 14.6 points per game. And if you look, when they've been in competitive games with, like, against contending teams, just since March 29th, there's 4 of those games to look at. Against Phoenix, 33 minutes. That game against OKC, 36 minutes. That game against the Knicks, 31 minutes. And the game against Dallas, 38 minutes. So you're going to see big minutes from him here. I think this is a sneaky little play. Also, if you wanted to do over 2.5 made threes, you can get that at plus 170 on FanDuel. He's cleared that in 4 of his last 5 games when he's played 30 plus minutes, averaging 4.2 threes per game. What do you think?
I don't know a lot about him because I think he just came on with Monk going out over the last couple of weeks. But what I do like on this chart, this is him filtered to 24 plus minutes. You were saying, didn't clear against Memphis, Toronto, or Utah, but playoff team Orlando, playoff team Dallas, playoff team Knicks, Oklahoma City, playoff team Phoenix, playoff team. So Portland.
Yeah, go down in the minutes. You'll see his minutes are also lower in those games, I believe, against the Memphis's 33, but 25, 27. So I think this is a very sneaky little spot here.
Yeah, those are the 5 main games there. Yep. So I think that's good. I think he clearly is out there, like you said, for defensive purposes, and he's a pretty athletic guy from what I've seen, and can certainly get out in the open court and score some points as well. So and he's got a 3-pointer as well. So yeah, I think it's worth a gamble. He's starting, right? Is that correct?
I'm not sure if he's starting or I think he probably will.
Yeah. So we got Fox, Ellis, Barnes, Keegan Murray, and Sabonis. So without Huerter and Monk playing, he's got the starting spot. So I think that's good. Good look. All right.
And then what other? So this is also. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just asking. What else do you have?
Oh yeah. So this is also kind of like the hedge I had on D'Lo and Rui. So Davion Mitchell gets a bump in minutes here. He's playing about 20 minutes in the rotation. He is part of this rotation here. He is in this 8-man rotation that the Kings are going to run out. So you'll see him play 20 minutes in this game. His point line 7.5. He's 7 of 9 this season in games without Malik Monk. He's 10 of 12, 10 of his last 12 when he's played 20 plus minutes. And like I just said, he's averaging 23.3 minutes over his last 10 games. So I think 20 is what you'll see there. You know, they're getting those rotations set towards the end of the season there. That's where he's averaging out. So another sneaky spot. I think one of these two definitely get there. And with these point totals so low at 7.5 and 9.5, I could easily see both of these guys getting there. What do you think?
Yeah. Again, I mean, I like to our point at the start of the show, I probably would favor Ellis over Mitchell because Ellis could get 30 plus minutes, and Mitchell will probably be in the low 20s. And if Fox is, if they're behind, Fox is just going to stay out there. Mitchell will stay on the bench. But I do think Mitchell's a good play, but I just see more value on Ellis at 9.5. But again,
for sure,
if you're not sure which direction this is going to go, then play them both at half a unit, right?
Yeah. But with Ellis starting, definitely seems like a bit more value there.
Yeah. All right, cool. Anything else on the King side?
No.
Yeah, I mean, Sabonis is popping out as like a great play for scoring. It's just he doesn't seem to be the same player without Malik Monk there. So Sabonis at 18.5 points. I think at some point that was 17.5. There's nowhere that's available still at 17.5. History against Golden State, pretty good, right? I mean, he in that game 7, I think he had 23 points and 22 in the game 5, 19 in game 6, all last year. I'm sorry, that was I think he had 22 in that game 7. So, I think he's going to be out there big minutes, barring any foul trouble. I think he'll get 20 points in this game, but I just don't like what's going on with him. He just seems to be off. So I think laying off of him is probably the right play, but at 18.5 points and 13.5 rebounds, those are pretty good values. But again, I was surprised by his rebounds too. I can't believe he only had 8 rebounds in the last 2 games against the Warriors, right? This guy's been a 10 rebound guarantee every game. So I agree with you. As tempting as it is to play something on Sabonis, lay off. And if for some reason they advance to the next game, then maybe we play Sabonis then. Okay.
Yes. Agreed.
All right. Let's go to the Warriors. What do you like there?
All right. I got 2 plays in here. This one we posted up in the Discord yesterday. Lines have moved a little bit. Draymond assist over 6.5 assists. We got it yesterday at plus 110 on FanDuel. It's down to minus 125 on FanDuel today, but you can get it at minus 115 on DK. If you look last postseason, in game 7 against the Kings last postseason, he played 38 minutes. That was his highest minute output of the entire postseason. When he's played 32 plus minutes this season, he's had 8 plus assists in 7 of 9 games, averaging 9.7 assists per game, just under 10 assists per game. He had 10 plus assists in 6 of those 9 games when he's played 32 plus minutes this season. So I really like that. And he's also been awesome against Sacramento. Last 8 of 11 games against Sacramento, he's cleared 6.5 assists. He had 10 plus assists in 4 of those 8 games. So I think not only is his straight line good today, I think this is a nice ladder opportunity. 8 plus assists at plus 180, 10 plus assists at plus 550 on FanDuel. I love that spot for Draymond here.
Yeah, the Warriors were just kind of built to knock the Kings out of the playoffs. So this is a game for Steph to probably go off, for Draymond to be passing him the ball. Draymond's going to facilitate quite a bit here. You and I were talking yesterday. The only thing I think that prevents Draymond from getting 6.5, 7 assists tonight is him getting thrown out of the game. Which probably has maybe a plus 130 odds behind it. With Sabonis out there, who knows? And the intensity of a playoff game. But yeah, we'll see. But I do love this play, and I definitely would contemplate a ladder all the way up to 10 assists on this as well.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And who else do you like on the Warriors?
All right, last one. The Kings killer himself, Mr. Andrew Wiggins, over 14.5 points. The guy has been a bit. Look at his splits against Sacramento.
Wow.
11 of his last 14 games clearing this line, averaging 19.5 points per game. He's cleared in 8 of his last 10 overall, so he's finished the season very strong, averaging 16.6 points per game over his last 10 games. When he's played, so over the last 15 games of the regular season, he's kind of like gotten back into the rotation. He's playing. If you go down to his minutes over the last 15, you see he's in that 29 to 32 minute range in competitive games. So those red ones there, where you see like the game got away from them, blowout, whatever, then he gets to the bench. This one will be very competitive. You will see his minutes at 30 plus, I'd imagine here. When he's played just 25 plus minutes, he's cleared in 11 straight games, averaging 18.8 points in his last 11 games when he's played 25 plus minutes, which I think he will easily play in this game tonight. So, what, you like the sneaky Wiggins play?
I do. I just filtered, in games where the Warriors win by just win.
Look at that.
Yeah, he's got a I don't know, only what is that?
That's like 6
or 11,
9, 10 of 12.
Yeah,
10 of 12.
12. Yeah, so I think this is good. I don't know why he gets up to play the Kings. If it was just about a matchup against the team, I don't know if I would play that, but I do like his recent trend, like coming back into form. He seems to be figuring out whatever was preventing him from being the Andrew Wiggins of last year or the year before. So I like it. I think 15 points seems like a no-brainer. So let's go.
Yeah. All right, let's do it.
He was also popping for rebounds on our board. Again, against over the last let's take the wins out. Over the last 15 games, he's had 4+ rebounds in every single
game.
Like
a nice builder leg right there, my friend.
Yeah, so if you don't want to play Andrew Wiggins at 14.5 points and you want to bring that down a little bit, maybe you take Wiggins at 12.5 or something like that. Whatever gets you better odds and tack 4 rebounds on. Or if you just want to try to retire early in the playoff games and go for a big parlay, you put maybe Wiggins for 4 rebounds and 15 points, you can get maybe a +1.
I'm liking Wiggins 4 rebounds, Draymond 6 assists.
Well, I like that a lot.
I like that a lot.
All right, we're gonna put that one out on X after we hang up here.
That is beautiful. I'm gonna look up right now, see what we get for that. We got Wiggins at 4, and we got Draymond
like plus 150 is my guess. What do you think?
Oh no! Wow. Minus 111, but almost even money. Almost even money. That's pretty nice.
I would take that still. I think that's a good play.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Very nice. And I can't wait for these games. I think it's gonna be fun. What I would say is there's so much anticipation for the playoffs to start. Take it easy. Listen to what we just went through. Don't play 9 plays tonight. Pick the best of your best.
It's only 2 games. Yeah.
Only 2 games, right? It's a long road. We got 10 weeks of playoffs. Literally, this goes all the way till almost the end of June. So,
yes.
So take your time. Choose the best of the best. Let's get some wins tonight. Let's just build, right? We're up pretty good. We're up over 30 units this season in the NBA. Let's just build that up to 50+ units by the end of the playoffs.
Yeah, let's do it. But as you can see, it's a great point. You can see we're approaching the 40-minute mark here to discuss 2 games. Usually we're at 30 minutes to discuss 6 or 7 games during the regular season. So obviously the excitement is built up. So great. I'm glad you pointed that out. It's that should be very helpful. Don't put in 10 bets tonight. Yeah, just don't go crazy. Exactly. There you go. You said it best. All right. Nice work. Super excited for it. We'll be back tomorrow for the other 2 Eastern Conference play-in games. Looking forward to tonight's games. Let's get these bets in and let's all make some money.